Michael Jordan and Caitlin Clark just dropped a bombshell that's shaken the entire sports world. They straight up changed Sophie Cunningham's life with a jaw-dropping $27 million Nike deal. And the way it went down? Pure movie scene vibes? Picture this. Sophie, a gritty WNBA vet known for playing like her paycheck depends on every single hustle play, gets called into what she thinks is a boring strategy meeting. She's expecting coaches and clipboards, then boom, in walks Michael Jordan. Yes, the Michael Jordan, the man who built Nike's empire brick by brick with his own legacy. And right behind him, Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation already flipping the entire sports industry upside down. The look on Sophie's face when they hit her with the news? Legendary. $27 million from Nike. That's more than most WNBA players will see in their entire careers combined. We're talking generational wealth here, life-changing money that sets up Sophie's entire family for decades to come. But this isn't just about one player cashing out. It's about women's basketball finally getting a slice of the respect and money it has deserved all along. For years, WNBA players have been grinding just as hard as their NBA counterparts only to get tossed scraps when it comes to endorsement deals. NBA stars have been signing $100 million checks while WNBA athletes are lucky to snag a few thousand a year. Sophie knows this struggle all too well. Drafted by the Phoenix Mercury back in 2019, she's battled for every inch of recognition in a league that constantly undervalues its stars. Now, thanks to Jordan and Clark teaming up, the game has officially changed, and Sophie Cunningham just became the face of a whole new era. Sophie Cunningham built her rep as a sniper from deep and a straight-up grinder who brings intensity every single night. Last season, she put up 8.2 points a game while hitting 37.8% from three, numbers any team would take in a heartbeat. But here's the ugly truth. Being good at hoops hasn't always meant big endorsement money in the women's game. Before all this, Sophie had a few local sponsorships, maybe a small athletic brand deal, but nothing life-changing. She was known, respected, but not cashing in. Then, Caitlin Clark stormed into the WNBA and flipped the entire script. Clark didn't just join the league, she kicked down the door and told the world women's basketball is prime time now. Her game was electric, pulling in TV ratings that made executives double take. Suddenly, people who hadn't watched a single WNBA game before were glued to their screens, arenas were selling out, and social media was blowing up like never before. Nike saw the wave and realized they'd been sleeping on a gold mine. Clark's influence, massive enough to lock down her own signature shoe line, a rare honor in women's basketball history. And this is where the legend himself, Michael Jordan, enters the chat. MJ isn't just chilling on a yacht counting billions, he's still calling shots with Nike and the Jordan brand. He's been watching the women's game with sharp interest, recognizing this shift as something huge. The man who redefined athlete endorsements saw women's basketball exploding, and he wasn't about to watch from the sidelines. Jordan and Clark? They'd already been cooking up ways to take this movement to an entirely new level, and Sophie Cunningham was about to benefit big time. Jordan and Clark knew one thing: one superstar getting paid wasn't enough. If women's basketball was going to level up, everyone needed to eat. That's when Sophie Cunningham's name got thrown on the table. Different teams, different roles. But Sophie and Caitlin had built a legit bond off the court. So Jordan and Clark walked into Nike with a wild idea. Make Sophie part of the new wave of women's basketball endorsements and make it loud enough to shake the industry. This wasn't about tossing her some small check and calling it a day. No, this was about a deal that would make headlines worldwide and tell every brand out there, WNBA players are worth investing in. But let's be real. $27 million for a role player? That's unheard of. Still, Jordan's influence is legendary, and Clark's rising star power gave it all the credibility it needed. Caitlin was basically saying, this is my league, these are my peers, and we're all worth big money. When they finally told Sophie, emotional doesn't even begin to describe it. She thought it was a joke at first, but nope. This contract was very real, loaded with cash, signature apparel, marketing campaigns, and even global branding opportunities. Sophie Cunningham, once just a reliable shooter and hustler, was about to become a household name. And Nike's move isn't just about Sophie. It's a loud message to every other company. You don't have to be the face of the league to deserve a big payday. The players who grind, who make teams work, they have value too. Think about it. $27 million in one deal. WNBA salaries top out at roughly $200,000 a year. Even if Sophie maxed out for 10 straight seasons, She wouldn't touch this kind of money. This is life-changing, retirement secure your whole family for decades kind of money. But here's where it gets even wilder. This deal isn't just about Sophie Cunningham cashing out. It's about a power shift in sports culture. For decades, women's basketball players have been treated like afterthoughts when it came to sponsorships and endorsements. That mindset just got obliterated. Jordan, the man who changed athlete branding forever, basically told Nike, step up or get left behind. And Caitlin Clark? She's not just breaking records on the court, she's changing the business of basketball before she even hits her prime. This move signals a new era. Role players are no longer just role players. They're brands waiting to blow up. And make no mistake, other companies are watching this play unfold. Expect rival sneaker brands and lifestyle giants to start scrambling for their own WNBA stars, throwing around numbers that were once unthinkable. For Sophie Cunningham, this is more than a payday. It's a torch pass. She's now the example, the proof that you don't have to be a #1 draft pick or MVP candidate to secure generational wealth. She represents every overlooked, undervalued athlete who grinds in silence but keeps teams alive. And fans, they're buzzing. Social media is flooded with reactions, some celebrating Sophie's bag, others questioning how a role player landed a deal bigger than some NBA bench guys. But that's the point. Jordan and Clark wanted controversy. They wanted conversation. And they got it. Big time. And here's the wildest part. This is only the beginning. Michael Jordan stepping into women's basketball like this? Caitlin Clark using her influence to pull another player up with her? That's not just a deal, that's a blueprint for how the whole league could change overnight. Think about it. Brands that never touched the WNBA are now calling their marketing teams asking, who's our Sophie Cunningham? It's not just about who drops 30 a night anymore. It's about impact, personality, and the culture these players bring. Sophie just became proof that any player can secure generational wealth if the right people believe in them. And for the fans, this is what they've been screaming for. Real investment, real recognition, and real money in women's sports. The days of underpaid legends quietly retiring are over. Now we're talking about 7-figure contracts, signature shoes, and global campaigns for players who were once overlooked. What do you think? Is this the start of a WNBA financial revolution? Could Sophie's deal push the next wave of multi-million-dollar signings? Comment below with your take, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with your friends because this story isn't over yet. This whole situation feels bigger than basketball. It feels like history being written in real time. Michael Jordan putting his name on a WNBA deal this massive? Caitlin Clark backing another player instead of just chasing her own bag? That's not normal. That's game-changing loyalty and power on display. Sophie Cunningham didn't just sign a contract. She became the symbol of what's possible for every hardworking player who thought endorsement money only belonged to the superstars. $27 million for a player once labeled a role player? That's flipping the entire conversation about value in women's sports. And best believe, this is going to have ripple effects. We're about to see brands fighting to sign players they ignored before. We're about to see the WNBA economy explode. And it all started with Jordan, Clark, and Sophie Cunningham making one bold move. So what do you think? Does this change the future of women's basketball forever? Let us know in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this story everywhere, and stay tuned, because the next chapter is coming fast. What makes this even crazier is how fast this all happened. 1 minute, Sophie Cunningham is known as that gritty shooter every team wants, and the next, she's holding a $27 million Nike contract with her name on it. That's not just a pay raise, that's life-altering, league-shifting money. Michael Jordan didn't have to do this. Caitlin Clark didn't have to put another player in the spotlight, but they did. And by doing it, they've sent a message. The WNBA is no longer playing small ball when it comes to endorsements. This move is forcing every other brand to wake up, fast. Who's next? Who's about to go from underdog to face of a global campaign? The door has officially been kicked wide open. So tell us what you think. Does Sophie Cunningham's mega deal prove it's finally time for WNBA players to be valued like their NBA counterparts? Comment below, hit like, subscribe for more stories shaking up the game, and don't forget to share this with your squad, because this is only getting bigger. Other brands are now scrambling to rethink everything. If Nike's willing to drop $27 million on Sophie Cunningham, what's stopping Adidas, Under Armour, or even New Balance from doing the same for their own stars? The market just blew wide open and suddenly every WNBA player is on somebody's radar. For the Indiana Fever, this changes everything. Having a player with a mega endorsement like this doesn't just boost Sophie's profile, it elevates the entire franchise. Free agents might start circling thinking, if they're getting deals like that over there, I want in. And the international impact? Huge. Nike's a global monster, and this contract isn't just about a few billboards in the US. We're talking worldwide campaigns, global media tours, and Sophie Cunningham becoming the face of women's basketball in countries that barely knew it existed. That kind of exposure grows the sport and builds brand new fan bases around the world. Add Michael Jordan to the mix, and it's even bigger. This is the guy who redefined endorsements and created the entire athlete branding playbook. And Caitlin Clark? She didn't just take her own bag and bounce. She leveraged her influence to lift another player up, showing the kind of we all win together energy that women's sports desperately needed. Looking forward, this might shake up how the entire league operates. If endorsement money like this becomes normal, expect salary cap debates and new collective bargaining talks to explode. Suddenly, the WNBA might need to build an entirely new system for an entirely new level of money. For Nike, this is genius. Get in now, make a bold move, and lock in a future that's only going to keep growing. Women's sports just got a whole new power shift, and it's only getting started. Nike just put themselves in the spotlight as the brand that believed in women's basketball before it was even trendy. Now all eyes are on Sophie to deliver, and judging by her career so far, she's built for this moment. Nike didn't just sign a random player, they chose someone who embodies grit, hustle, and exactly what their brand wants to stand for. But here's the real question. Will this start a chain reaction? Will other retired legends pull a Michael Jordan and invest in women's sports? Will Sophie's success inspire more brands to take big chances on WNBA players who were once overlooked? One thing's for sure, women's basketball will never be the same again. When Michael Jordan and Caitlin Clark teamed up to drop $27 million on a surprise deal, the sports world sat up and paid attention. The conversation shifted, the possibilities exploded, and somewhere a young girl shooting hoops just realized her dreams are worth way more than anyone ever told her. The future is here, and it's rocking Nike. So what do you think? Is this the start of a new era for women's sports? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one.